Hey guys, this is Rob from ChainsawGuitarTuition.net. This video is going to be about soloing. If you've never soloed before and feel like you want to start, or if you've been playing solos for a while and just don't know where to go with them, looking for new ideas, this video is for you. Tip number 1 out of 10, learn your scales. Although that is the kind of advice you get on forums and websites and similar things. Just say, learn your scales, learn your theory. When you want to know how to improvise on guitar, learn your scales, learn your theory. But that is very generic advice. I don't think it's very helpful advice. So what I'm going to say is learn some specific scales. Okay, the scales you want to start out by learning, if you've never soloed before, would be the pentatonic scales. You've got two scales, two 5-note scales. You've got minor, and then you've got the major. Okay, so you've got 5 notes, 5 positions of each of those on the neck, and the great thing is they share the same 5 positions. So you're only really learning 5 different shapes for these two scales, and one's major, one's minor. So you're likely to find, like if you've got a minor chord, you use the minor scale. If you've got a major chord, use a major scale. If you know about keys and you can tell that you're in a major key, use the major scale. So these scales are very, very versatile, and you get just 5 shapes, gives you all of that. Alright, number 2, use phrases. Okay, phrasing is basically breaking your notes up into short little chunks, okay? So, for example, this would be a phrase. One thing you want to avoid is having a solo sound like this. At whatever speed you're at, a constant stream of notes is just bad normally. Okay, number 3 is to listen to solos that already exist. Okay, you can listen to solos in songs that you like just for the ideas. Think about things like what scale is he using, what key is this song in, how fast is he playing, what kind of licks is the guy using in this song, and all that kind of stuff. Number 4, practice soloing whenever you can, okay? And I don't mean just every second of the day annoying everyone, but I do mean adding it to your practice routine, okay? Okay, number 5 is to try and force yourself to be a bit more creative, okay? And we can do this by limiting ourselves. So if you say, oh, I'm going to just solo on one string, okay, no matter the chord progression, you kind of find, kind of come up with things like that. And you're kind of making up your own stuff, but it forces you to be more creative because you've got less to work with. Okay, another way you can do this, you can stick to just one position and say, I'm only going to be in 5th position, or I'm only going to be in the 12th position. And every scale that I use, I'm just going to be in this position, and this is really good actually for practicing your scale shapes. You can also do that with chord tones, so the same thing would be. Number 6 is to learn to listen. Okay, we've already covered listening to other people's solos. Now I'm talking about listening to your own solos. You could play solos and record them back, but what's probably more useful is listening to your own playing. Okay, becoming aware of what you're playing. A lot of people will go and improvise and forget instantly what they've just played. One of the exercises I like to use for this, say you're in A minor. I'm going to use pentatonic for all of these examples, just so that you know. So you play a lick, and then immediately repeat that lick. You can see how this will force you to listen to yourself, your own playing, which can only help you become better at soloing. Number 7 is to learn the notes of the fretboard, and this is one of those things that I know is said on forums and stuff. It's just people go, learn the notes of the fretboard, and that's supposed to help. I don't think learning the notes of the fretboard actually helps in itself. It's much more useful to know what to do with those notes. So by all means, if you want to learn all the notes of the fretboard, that's only a good thing. But what I would suggest is working on target notes. So if you know your arpeggios or your chord shapes, target one of the notes in the C. So I might have a C chord, I might play in the solo at C and sort of hang around that C. Number 8 is to play higher up the neck, and by higher up the neck I mean this end of the neck. you may notice that a lot of guitar solos are played. There's two reasons for this, okay? Okay, if I was to play that note, this note here, in a lower place on the neck, exactly the same octave this time, so I'm going to play, the tone's very different, okay? And the tone up here is a lot smoother, and a lot more melodic. It can be a lot more melodic. Secondly, if you're playing to a loud band and they're all playing stuff, and you'll start your solo here, you're more likely to blend in. So if you jump all the way up here, you're much more easily heard over the band. Alright, number 9, the most boring solo you could ever do would just be on one level. Okay, there's no excitement, it doesn't build, there's no quiet bits and loud bits. So what you need to do is pay attention to the excitement levels in your solo. Okay, so add some peaks in. You might start off quiet, and then slowly build up. So you're sort of up here. The in-betweeny bit would be your solo, and that kind of gives you a. If you were to draw it on a piece of paper, I'm going to do it this way around. You can draw it on a piece of paper. It'd be like you go up like that, and maybe you come down, and then you go back up, and then you kind of have these peaks and troughs of excitement going on. Number 10, following on from that idea, yes, it is impressive to play fast, but if that's all you do, you lose the effect of it. Don't just have your solo that's constant 30-second notes through the whole solo. Add some sweeps, add some scale runs. That's great, but mix it up a little bit with some like melodic bits or bits that aren't just different. Okay, lastly, I'm going to say to you, there is, for every one of these things that I've just gone through, for every one of these tips, for every one of these soloing methods, there is an exception in a good solo. So don't take these rules as like gospel or anything like that. You can break every one of them. The rules in music are descriptive, not prescriptive. So they don't prescribe to you what you should do. They just take something that's already been played and describe why it sounded good. If you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe. There's a link to the full lesson on my website. I recommend checking that out if you like this video. There's a lot more detail going on the webpage where I've written it all up. Please like this video if you like this video, and until then, I'll see you next time.